I'm Holly from Your Past is a Gift. Okay, so today I wanted to talk more about the yelling and the smacking. I was on that topic before and I got sidetracked. So, okay, my belief was for the longest time that the yelling and the smacking is wrong, right? So here I have this little girl now, and she was, I think the first year you're just feeding and changing them and clothing them, and there's really not much interaction in terms of, a child doing anything else. But once they start walking and they start moving around, and you got to really try and keep them safe, and there's so many things to think about. We have to be guiding, all the time. Anyway, so I think it was more towards her second year onwards, once she starts, she started talking and started doing things, and you kind of have to be always correcting, no, you can't do that because it's not safe, you're going to hurt yourself, or, hold my hand because we've got to cross the road. And they go through that phase where they don't want to hold your hand, and you're like, ooh, pulling your hair out. I've seen a lot of kids go through the same phase. No, I don't want to hold your hand. And they're like, well, it's not safe. Like, we're crossing a highway here. There's all this traffic. You can't just cross by yourself. Anyway, so I remember going through a phase where I did start yelling. Not so much the smacking, because I'd already drawn a line that I wasn't going to go that way. But I did, if I got frustrated enough that she wasn't understanding what I'm trying to say or trying to teach her, that I would yell at her. And she would just withdraw. I'd noticed a few times as she was little that she'd just withdraw within herself. She'd go and sit somewhere quietly like, she's going off again. And so many times I'd look at her and I think, oh, I remember what that feels like. That's what I used to go through as a child. I used to hate the being yelled at. It's like, I'm not deaf. I can hear you. But it's just that the energy that comes behind it. Now, as a parent, if I hadn't have gone through that phase of yelling at my little one, at my daughter, I could never have understood what my mum had been through with me, you see. So, it's easy to judge an adult. It's easy to judge when they're doing things and you think to yourself, oh, I'm going to do it so much better. But once you find yourself doing exactly the same thing, then you need to start to question, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? Why do I need to? Anyway, at the time, I just remember at the time this was going on, we were having a lot of financial issues, and I was starting to get very frustrated. And we'd be behind with the bills, and I'd need to be calling up to ask for more time, or to say, if you can pay it in installments and all that stuff. And we were just always behind, with paying bills. And I was just so frustrated with life at that stage, because I thought, oh, it's not meant to be this hard. That's what I used to think, Anyway, so anytime, and I noticed it more later that, anytime I had to talk to the bank, in regards to being late for payments, or talk to one of the others, for one of the bills that I couldn't pay on time and needed extensions, I would get really frustrated, right? And then it would usually be on those days that my little one would do something and I would just blah, just vomit all this rubbish at her, right? I'd just yell at her. And really it was just looking for an opportunity, because she'd make a mistake doing something. Say, for example, the milk that we were talking about before. She's learning how to pour the milk, and she'd spill it. And I'd already go off the, And then one day I sat myself down and I thought to myself, right? I thought, well, it doesn't bother me to spend 2 minutes with a cloth cleaning it up. That's all it takes, 2 minutes to clear it all up and clean it, right? Or disinfect it, whatever. But I thought, well, if that's not the issue, then why is my anger escalating? Why am I yelling at her? Why am I letting that out on her? If it's not really about her spilling or whatever she did at the time, you know what I mean? Maybe she'd taken out all the pencils, the whole floor was covered in pencils, she's not packing away, and blah, off I went, right? on a yell rampage. So, and I can get loud, right? So I know what I'm like. My mum was the same. But, you know, two wonderful things came out of that. Firstly, I understood. For the first time in my life, I understood my mum and her frustrations, because they were immigrants here in Australia, and so they struggled a lot. They didn't know the language when they came. They struggled a lot financially to move forward, and both of my parents came from very poor backgrounds. So they actually came here to improve their situations so that their children could have a better future, you know? So there must have been so many times where my mum was really frustrated, you know, with money issues. And that would flare up with us, you know? And there was a point in my life where it was just Dad working. Mum wasn't working anymore because she'd done her back in, and it was just too hard for her to find a job with the complications she had in her back by that stage. So Dad was working on his own, and I think that would have been more frustrating as well, because you're not helping to contribute to the financial problem, you know? And so I know with me, with my lessons, because I only work 3 hours of an afternoon, it's not enough to cover either. And so I always feel like my poor husband's doing it all on his own, even though I am bringing something in, but it's just not enough, and that's why we're always behind. So you always put it on yourself, like you're not good enough, you're not doing enough. And so because you have those feelings already, not good enough, not doing enough, you can do better, is that you let out that frustration onto another person. And usually you pick someone that's safe, someone that you know is going to take it, they've got no choice, like your child, and, you know, just release all that rubbish onto them. So once you can understand that from you, like I haven't needed to do that with her for a long time now, you know, and when I do, now she's comfortable enough to come and tell me, Mummy, I don't like it when you yell, and so I can apologize at least, you know, I'm sorry, you know, Mummy's just having a bad day, or whatever it is, you know. I try to explain to her always that it's not her, that I'm going through personal issues, and that I'm, you know, I'm just, I call it a bad day. I'm having a bad day now. But those bad days are getting fewer and fewer, you know, as the process has started. So that's what I'm hoping for you, you know, that because before, now I look back on it, I was angry every day. You know, there was always something to be angry about, someone to be angry with, and that's stopped. I've been able to stop having that feeling or those thoughts, you know, and that for me has been such a huge relief, you know, that I don't need those thoughts and feelings anymore, because I know where it came from. I know how it started, and now I know the truth. So that's what I'm hoping for all of you. It's what I'm working so hard to make all these videos so that you can have the same. You can let go of all that doesn't serve you, because it doesn't make you feel good about who you are at all. Anyway, we'll delve more on the topic in the next video about feeling good and feeling bad. Remember to click like and subscribe below for more videos so you don't miss any of the messages. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now. Thanks for watching.